I think he's a dangerous guy. He's a dangerous guy because, again, he doesn't wrap his hands because he believes he's got weapons of mass destruction in his hands. And he might, but I find a way, bro. I always find a way. And I don't know. I feel really good. Like, it's different now. I really feel unstoppable because everything I've done is for this moment. Everything I've done in this game has been for this moment in my life now. And now that it's here, I want to shine. Yeah. So that's the thing. I always want to shine, and I will shine. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I just can't take him seriously with that Pikachu sitting behind him there. Anyway, he's clearly trying to manifest a win here by speaking it into existence. He's always been big into manifestation, just like Conor McGregor. I don't know what it is with manifestation with these UFC guys, but it's like the UFC has some reality bending guru manifestation guy at the facilities teaching all the fighters how to manifest or something. I don't know. But Israel fights Joe Pyfer later this month. And this could be the end of his career if he loses.
You've done a hell of a lousy job. I'm sorry, you're fired. Get out of here. Right?
And that's what he said. If he loses this one, he might just be done. So Pyfer is a tough matchup. He's insanely powerful in the hands, and I think Israel struggles against guys who have power, clearly. If you watch his Pereira fights, his most recent fight. And Pyfer's only 29, while Israel is almost 37. He's not leaving his prime, he's already out of his prime, but he's in the John Jones situation where he's into his late 30s, while Pyfer is entering his prime, 30 years old. And to be honest, the mid to late 30s is when the top fighters start to drop off, and we see that happening with Izzy's recent fights. He's fighting the top guys, and he just can't keep up anymore. We see it with his Pereira fights, his Dricus fight, his Sean fight, and even his Imavov fight.
Like EA, Activision, fucking all these gaming companies and do video games, because Hollywood, I don't know, the industry is kind of, not just because of the whole shit, but like the whole industry itself, because of streaming and use of AI and whatnot, who knows what's happening there. And I will do a few movies, I'm sure, or one or two, but I'd rather get into like some gaming. Not esports, me playing, or even like sponsoring a team. I don't know, something. There's other avenues. So when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not gonna be like, oh.
So Demetrius Johnson tried to get into the whole gaming scene as well, but in the end, he went back to talking about MMA, and that's where his main audience was. Like Izzy says, there's all these other things he can do, but I really don't believe it. People just don't like him, and you can see by his YouTube just isn't that massive. It's not massive like Demetrius Johnson's is. He says once he's done, but I just can't believe it. Time and time again, these guys always come back. He'll be offered something by Misfits, Netflix, or whoever will come by and they'll offer him a big purse to do some one-off event. So I don't like Izzy, I never have. After his first fight in the UFC back in 2018, I did try to give him a chance because he seemed interesting, but his personality and his fighting style just swayed me away. He's always seemed like a disrespectful person out of hate and envy. Like Conor McGregor was disrespectful, but after each fight, he was always respectful afterwards. The only true disrespect out of hate and envy was for Khabib. But other than that situation, because Conor had his reasons, it was always to just build up the fight, and he was always respectful afterwards. But with Izzy, he's just a pure narcissist and main character syndrome. And yeah, anytime he does anything with anyone out of disrespect, it's out of true hatred. And I just can't stand that with this guy.
For me, when that fight came about, I didn't like him. He was very, good looking, just very muscular. You look at the fight, you look at the first round, the way he looked at me, and then look at the second round where you see his face, the demeanor changed. I just felt it was the most dominating thing I could do to him because he was in that position. And look at the technique, look at the squat on the man. Oh, that's crazy, man. You raw dogged him. It was good.
I disapprove 100%.
An example would be when he was teabagging Paulo Costa after TKOing him. It's just that type of sexual humiliation is just over the line for me. And Paulo even said it himself because Paulo played along with building up the fight. And then when he sees that Izzy is just humping him when he's on his hands and knees, Paulo, that crossed the line for him, and I agree. I truly believe karma is a thing, and that humiliation he did against Costa came back to him, and now he can't stop losing. Still, the UFC is completely dead to me now. The direction it's going and the fighters they have, I just have no interest. But I would still like to see Izzy in the UFC. Yes, most of his fights are boring, and he gave us the most boring fight of all time with Yoel Romero. He was just trying to play safe and keep the title. But just like I said with my Kobe Covington video, I would be interested in his fights just to see him lose. You may think that's dumb, but that's the case with most fights. People watch to see a certain fighter lose. And then everything around those fights, like the press conferences and the post-fight press conferences and the interviews and the post-fight interviews, it's just fun to watch. Like when Izzy cried at a press conference against Dricus, that was amazing. And then his post-fight speeches, how you can just truly see how bad of a person he is, that was also amazing. But yeah, the best case scenario for this fight is if it's a war, which Izzy tends to kind of stay away from wars. But yeah, it would be great if it's a great fight and then we see more of him and there's more great fights. But what I want is a great fight and then he still loses, and then he fights again, and then it's a great fight and he still loses, and maybe some of those fights he gets knocked out. That would be great. But yeah, I don't know. It just is weird if this is his last fight and he's completely out of the UFC, and now we have another big name completely out of the UFC, because like I said, the UFC now is just the big names you grew up on, like Tony Ferguson, Henry Cejudo, Conor McGregor, all these big guys that everyone knows, they're just gone now. And it's really weird. Like when you watch a UFC card, it's like for the casuals at least, you'll only see one or two matchups of guys you know, and then the rest are just nobodies. So yeah, if Izzy's gone after this fight, it would be a shame, which is why I made my Kobe Covington fight. Like he's gone and everything around his fights, like the press conferences, are hilarious. And then his fights, a lot of them are just wars. Anyway, if you like the video, then like the video. If you disagree, then let me know in the comments. And if not, I don't give a damn.
Because ego. I have a healthy ego, and I don't. Ah, nice. Old man things. I have a healthy ego, and I don't like to look stupid.